not tall enough. Good morning, everyone. A few years ago, when DEI was having its moment, my company, like a lot of companies, dove in head first. Task forces, trainings, listening sessions. We opened the door and invited people of color to share their stories, their experiences, and what it actually was like to work there. And for a while, the company listened. And then the stories stopped being comfortable. They stopped being the kind you can put in a slide deck. And the door, the one that the company had opened so proudly, quietly started to close. Nobody announced it. There was no memo. The listening sessions just stopped getting scheduled. The momentum had drained out of the room. The company had asked people to trust us with the truth, and when the truth got hard, we couldn't hold it. I think about that a lot, not to condemn my company, but because I recognize the same instinct in myself sometimes. It's tempting to treat allyship like a project with a finish line, open the door, check the box, move on. But that's not what allyship is. It's not something you arrive at. It's something you keep doing, a practice, not an identity. So what does that actually mean, a practice, not an identity? It means you don't get to decide you're an ally and be done with it. There's no ceremony, no certificate. You can do the work amazingly well on Tuesday and get it completely, oh so horribly wrong the next day. Say the thing that centers yourself, stay quiet when you should have spoken, take up space that wasn't yours to take. But that's no reason to give up. It's the whole point. Our tradition is actually super comfortable with this kind of thing. We don't ask people to arrive at a faith and stop growing. We ask people to keep wrestling, keep questioning, keep returning. Allyship asks the same of us. You don't wake up one day having become an ally the way you might become a homeowner or a graduate. You wake up and decide to do the work again. Which is a relief, actually, if you ask me, because it means the goal is not perfection. The goal is just to show up again and again. This isn't separate from our faith. It's our faith in practice. Justice, equity, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, interdependence. These aren't just words on a banner. They're the actual content of what allyship asks of us. When we say we believe in the worth of every person, we're making a commitment, and a commitment isn't real until it costs you something. So when I talk about allyship this morning, I'm not describing a workplace initiative or a political position. I'm describing what it looks like to actually live out what we say we believe on a Tuesday when no one's watching and nothing's trending. Okay, so let's go back to my company for a second, because I think what happened there wasn't unique to companies. I think there's a default failure mode baked in there. We were fine with allyship in our company as long as it was comfortable, as long as it looked like listening sessions and good intentions. But what the company wasn't ready for was the cost. And the allyship does cost something. Real allyship, not the performative kind, means sometimes you lose your standing within your own group. It sometimes means being corrected publicly and not making that moment about your hurt feelings or good intentions. It means sometimes somebody telling you you got it wrong, and you don't have to reassure them that they're still a good person. And that's really, really hard. It's really hard because most of us like to feel like we're good people in this room, and every one of us in this room is a good person. Most of us want credit for trying, myself included. We want to be told we're one of the good ones. But that need for reassurance is exactly what the company couldn't get past. The moment they started hearing those stories about what was wrong, they couldn't handle it. And we needed that comfort more than we needed the truth. So, real allyship tends to be a little bit more invisible. It's not the listening sessions and the sign-up sheets. It's the meeting where you notice whose idea got repeated back louder than somebody else, and you say something. It's the quiet sustained showing up, just like Celia did for the woman on the plane, long after the trend is past and after anyone's watching or there's slide decks about it. If ally shows up when it's visible, when it's convenient, when it's flattering, it's not allyship, it's just branding. Okay, so what does allyship look like here? Not in the abstract, not at some random company that I worked at a few years ago, but right here in this room this week. I think the best thing we can all do is to start by noticing. Ask yourself, who's doing the invisible work of this congregation that allows us to be here every week and gather in community? Whose labor makes this room possible? I don't think we're going to solve it all this week. Only start by noticing. Noticing where the practice starts. And then maybe doing one small thing. Maybe it's the next time you're sitting in a meeting, someone's idea gets talked over, and you redirect the conversation back to that person. Maybe it's noticing who's missing before a decision gets made. Maybe it's staying in an uncomfortable conversation for just a little bit longer, 10 minutes. Don't try to fix it, just sit with it. None of these things are going to fix everything. They're not supposed to. They're just a repetition. And it starts with one, and once you continue doing it, that's when it becomes a practice. Not a grand gesture, not the perfect year of DEI trainings before the door closes again. Pick one thing and just do it this week, and do it again next week. I think about the door at my company sometimes, how easy it was to open it and how quietly it closed. Here's what I've come to believe. It closed because we were still thinking of allyship as doing something for somebody else. A favor, a generosity, something we could extend or withdraw depending on how it made us feel. But that's not what that is. Your liberation and mine were never separate projects. When the congregation only hears comfortable stories, we lose something. Not just the people whose truths get quietly filed away, but the fullness of who we can be together. We are, as Dr. King said, bound up in a single garment of mutual destiny. Not because it's a nice sentiment, but because it's true. So the door doesn't have to close. Not this time, certainly not here. We keep it open because we're good people who've arrived somewhere. We keep it open because we need each other's whole truths to become who we're called to be. That's the practice. May we keep doing it today and tomorrow and the Tuesday after that. Thank you.
The topic of being an ally offers all sorts of possibilities. As I was researching it, I discovered this video of two adorable puppets. Grayson?
Yeah. Oh, hi. Today we want to talk to you about the importance of being an ally.
I'm a great ally.
An ally is someone who stands up for a group they are not necessarily part of.
Well, that's right. For example, I am not a rabbit, but I'm an ally to rabbits.
An ally is a person that considers themselves a friend. Allies create opportunities for everyone to feel accepted. It's important that everyone feels like they belong and have opportunities to succeed.
Yeah. Everyone is capable of being an ally, but it can be hard work. Well, you've got to have courage. You've got to be brave. Oh, yeah.
Nobody's ever finished learning about how to be an ally. Mistakes are expected. But Wendell's right. It's an important job.
Yeah, we need more allies.
Here are 3 great ways you can be an ally.
Oh, I'm ready. Hit me.
Yeah, you can stand in front of someone if you feel they are being bullied or to avoid them being hurt.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I will protect you. Don't you treat my friend that way. Show her some respect.
Yeah, good. And sometimes...
Sorry.
Sometimes people can fight their own battles, but it's nice to know you're behind them and believe in them.
Behind, yeah. I've got your back. Stand tall. Be brave. Put them in their place, sister.
You can also stand beside someone
beside.
and listen to them, support their struggles, and be there for them.
So, how you doing? You good? You
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
You want a hug?
Yeah, sure,
okay.
yeah.
Here's a hug. You want a tighter hug?
No, that's okay. A bit too tight. Bit too tight.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. The most important part of being an ally is to be kind and understanding. And knowing you have a friend in your corner can sometimes be the biggest help of all.
So, can I give you another hug? Or maybe a high five?
Oh, a hug will be lovely.
Oh,
Yeah. That's
rabbits are the best.
Oh, thank you.
Their message is clear. Being an ally and having an ally are both important. Both require hard work, and making mistakes is likely. Someone is required to be brave and courageous. There are particular groups who need allies, one of which is the elderly. Being an ally to the elderly means actively fighting against ageism. You may not know an elderly person very well, but could really become what I call a casual ally by doing the following: speaking to them respectfully, using names when possible, never using patronizing tones, and include them in your conversations. Support their independence by trusting their decision-making, possibly offer assistance with simple chores, offer a ride to a doctor's appointment or to the store. Most importantly, be a good listener, which is fundamental to being an ally. We live in Laguna Woods, where there are lots of opportunities to support the elderly. We live in cul-de-sac 320 and know almost everyone since we open our home once a year for a neighborhood get-together. Susan and I walk at least twice a day, and invariably we run into people who wish to talk. On one occasion, our neighbor was telling us about her sister who lives in Dallas, and because of onset dementia, is unable to pay her bills. We have a dear friend who specializes in helping the elderly with all things financial, including bill paying. Now, we don't know the result, but we made the connection. I know what you're thinking. This requires a high level of trust, which is necessary for allyship to be effective. Another group in need of allies is the disabled. Being an ally to the disabled community means actively listening to disabled voices, respecting individual autonomy, and dismantling physical and systemic barriers. It requires treating disabled people as equals, prioritizing accessibility without making assumptions about anyone's needs or experiences. Someone at Tapestry was an ally for the disabled, and as a result, we have chairs with arms, and we are getting listening devices. I'm grateful for Tapestry's acceptance of my disability, particularly my Reader's Theater friends who allowed me to sit during our recent presentation, and for the Worship Committee for arranging the accommodations for today's message. Thank you. Being an ally may require us to be brave and step outside our comfort zones and use our privilege to advocate for others. It means courageously speaking against discrimination, acknowledging our own biases, and yielding the floor to marginalized groups when appropriate. You have to speak up, especially when you are not the target. This was pointed out on a recent Daily Show, the only source for news. In her piece called "In My Opinion," Leslie Jones discussed white people who have one black friend and go out in predominantly a white group. What she shared may sound familiar. It was aimed at white people. She explained that if someone makes an inappropriate remark, we need to stick up for the black friend in the group And here I quote Leslie Jones. Being friends with black people means looking out for us, sticking up for us, understanding us. You have to put in the work. If you believe in equality, show up. If you believe blacks aren't second-class citizens, don't treat us like second-class friends. Being an ally to the black community in general is an active, lifelong commitment to unlearning biases. Listening without defensiveness, using your personal privilege to influence, to challenge systemic racism, and to advocate for equality. Another group needing our support is the LGBTQ plus community. Here are some key steps to being an effective ally. Educate yourself. Learn about LGBTQ plus identities, terminologies, and experiences. Respect and listen. Provide a safe space for them to express themselves. Challenge discrimination. Speak up against homophobia and transphobia. Advocate and support. Participate in events, rallies, and campaigns that promote LGBTQ plus rights. Pride rallies are a lot of fun, often with great food. Reflect on language and behavior. Use inclusive language. Avoid stereotypes. It is very important to be mindful of how your words affect others. Please think before you speak. Keep learning. As we have heard already, allyship is a lifelong process. Stay up to date. This day and age, things move very quickly, so be open to feedback and growth. Remember, any individual may face multiple forms of discrimination. Someone can be elderly, disabled, black, LGBT+. Allyship should promote equity for all. We have in our world the beauty of diversity. Imagine how boring it would be if we were just all cut from the same bolt of cloth. Susan and I moved to Southern California in 2006 so Susan could be with her aging mother. We both taught in very small rural schools, maybe 30 in a graduating class. There was one predominant ethnic group, white, and one predominant religion, Christian. Diversity was virtually non-existent. Imagine our joy, but not surprise, when we found so many people of different ethnic and religious backgrounds here in Orange County. About 25% of the population in Laguna Woods is Asian, including mainland Chinese, Taiwanese, Koreans, Indians, and more, with 6% Latino and 1% black. There are Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, atheists, and more. But we have at least one thing in common in the village. We're all old. On one of our walks one day, we discovered that our neighbor, Chong Chen, he called himself John, had even more in common with me. He and I shared a birthday. We were both born September 10th, 1943. He was born in Taiwan, therefore he was my elder, of which I often reminded him. We shared love of gardening and often exchanged plants. We were neighbors, but then John became seriously ill. We became his casual allies. John spent a lot of time tending his front yard and took great pride in how the plants and trees looked. Over the course of his illness, the yard was neglected. His wife, Melody, wanted to make sure that the garden was maintained to John's satisfaction. We were able to make the connection with our handyman to do just that, which made both of them very happy before John died. Maybe we need to make a distinction between an ally and a friend. If you try to find the difference between the two, which I did, it can be very confusing, and there are lots and lots of definitions. For our purposes, I suggest you may be an ally to a group and both friend and ally to an individual. I became an ally to a friend in Laguna Woods when early one morning she called me to share her mother had passed. She needed an ally, and I became one. When she said, I was the first person she called. She hadn't even called her brother. She needed to talk, and knew I would listen. I said almost nothing. In closing, maybe here are some takeaways. Being an ally is not about you. Put your ego aside. Be mindful of with whom you are speaking. Put in the hard work. Stand up and speak out when you see injustice or hear prejudice. Above all, be a good listener. And thank you for listening. Someone out there needs you. Thank you.